We're here today with Christopher Honeyman Brown. He's a business strategy consultant. Christopher, what are the key factors for consideration when starting your own business?
Well, the first thing is to be really clear about what business you're in. That's very important because you need to know what you're trying to achieve. What will you be selling? Who will you be selling it to? What will it cost? And what price are you going to be selling it at? That's important too. You need to understand your competition and to work out what they're doing and why you're different. And if you don't understand that, you'll be in the dark in the marketplace. You need to have a plan that works out what resource you'll need, what space you'll need, what premises, what systems, and things like that. You need to know how much money you're going to need to finance a business so that you go into the business with enough capital to make sure that it works and that you don't run out halfway through. You need to think about protecting your rights to the product or the service that you're providing to people, because if you don't, then someone perhaps can steal it and take it away from you, and you lose the business. You need to be aware of the regulations that govern what you can do in business and need to know how you're going to deal with them. And at a human level, as you start up in business, you need to know that you're responsible, that everything will stop with you, and you need to be happy with that and comfortable that you can take that responsibility.
What options are available for an entrepreneur in this position for funding a new company?
There are a huge variety of options, and it starts with your own savings. You may have managed to put aside some cash and be prepared to invest that and risk it in your new business venture. Second, perhaps by priority, is family. Family members may be prepared to finance you, stand behind you. They're the best people to understand you and what you're capable of. After that comes friends who may also be prepared to invest in you and to help you to get your dream established. After family and friends comes investment from third parties. That's people that you go to, present your business idea, and ask them to make an investment in you. And of course, making an investment carries risk, so you need to be able to explain very thoroughly to third parties who don't know you what it is you're going to do. Then comes loans, so rather than investment in shares and equity stake, if you like, loans from family, friends, third parties. And banks, of course. Banks do still make loans and are still a source of finance for businesses if the proposition's good enough. If there are problems with the proposition from a banking point of view, the small firms guaranteed loan scheme may be applicable, and that is a way in which banks can lend with the government standing behind the debt in the event that the business fails. Then sources like leasing, asset financing, invoice factoring, invoice discounting, which are all ways of financing the working capital that the business will need and the assets that it will need in order to get underway and deliver its services. Then bank loans, bank overdraft, credit from suppliers and advance payments from customers. So you can see there's a wide range of different types of finance that are available. It's about having a good proposition and presenting that proposition properly in a clear and focused way to the people that you approach for your finance.
What advice would you suggest entrepreneurs seek when engaging in this new business activity?
As much or as little as they feel that they need. One of the difficulties of many entrepreneurs is they think they know it all. They very quickly often fall into ruinous ways when they realise that they don't actually know it all, and they've gone too far and are then having to use quite a lot of their money that's available to sort out the muddle. So a sensible person setting up in business will think about accountants who can help advise them on the sort of structure, should they have a limited company or a partnership or some other form of trading vehicle. Accountants can also help to talk through the issues relating to VAT, to PAYE, to the issues of staff salaries and coping with all the deductions that need to be made, Bookkeeping and management accounting are also things that accountants obviously can help with. You may also need help from patent agents who can help you to protect the intellectual property of the business, the product, the service that you're offering, to register your trademarks and your copyright, and thereby protect you from a competitor stealing your ideas. Lawyers, inevitably, can help with commercial terms and conditions of doing business, with leases, with employment contracts, with intellectual property assignments and agreements, and other legal arrangements. Estate agents, if there are any left, can help you with the search for premises and can help you to establish the right sort of premises and the right sort of deal on which to go into a transaction for premises. Business links and other government agencies have an enormous range of support services that are usually free and can be tremendously useful for the person starting up in business who hasn't got a lot of money to pay professional advisors. You may need some help on sales planning and your marketing approach, and you may need help from designers to help you sort out your logo and design your paper, stationery, mastheads and things like that, so that you present the right sort of image to your marketplace.
You've worked with many successful entrepreneurs. What common factors have you seen in their success?
Well, the overriding factor of success, I think, is a can-do attitude. If you're an entrepreneur and it's your own business and you're responsible, if you give up too easily, if you fall or stop at the first hurdle, the first obstacle that's presented, there's just no point in starting the venture in the first place. So the most important thing is to have a can-do attitude, to work out always the alternative solution, a way to get around the problem, and a different way of doing things. And that needs a bit of creativity, often instinctiveness. Successful entrepreneurs never give up. They just never stop. They never say no. They never say, I can't do this. So working around problems and finding alternative solutions is pretty critical. And a strong work ethic is also pretty important. You tend not to find entrepreneurs checking their watch to see if it's 9 o'clock and shall I go into the office yet, or it's 5 o'clock and I need to go and walk the dog. They tend to live and breathe, sleep the business. They're constantly thinking about it to the point of being really tedious and boring, and often will talk about nothing but their business, which can be tiresome for those around them, but that's how they really produce that sort of dedication that makes the business work.
How important then, thinking about that advice you've just given, is it for entrepreneurs to recognise their own strengths and weaknesses and calculate for that? Very.
The common mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make is to fail to turn to other people for advice. Obstinacy, stubbornness, reluctance to incur cost, whatever the reason, they muscle on alone and they think they can deal with the problem themselves, when the reality is they haven't a clue what they're doing and there's no real way in which they can find it out. The other side of that coin, of course, is that when they do get advice, they don't listen to it. They say, no, thank you very much, I know better, and they carry on regardless. Successful entrepreneurs do, though, have an instinctive feel for what's right, what works, what doesn't work, and that's one of the key characteristics, if you like, personal characteristics of entrepreneurs, that they do have that instinctive judgment, and they do know the right path to follow, even if they've had no experience of it before. It is rare, though, to find somebody who's a good salesman, who knows how to create a market, who can manufacture a product, design a product, test it, knows the regulatory environment, understands finance, knows how to deal with people and manage their performance, all of these things. It's very, very rare. So the really successful entrepreneur knows when to give up, when to say, I can't do all this, which they have to at some stage, and then goes out to find a team, or in ones and twos perhaps, and gradually puts together a team who can help to bring their business to fruition and help to take it on and create succession. So the entrepreneur can sit back, think strategically, think about the ways to develop the business whilst he leaves his team of first-class managers to actually manage it and execute the business plan. It is better to get it right and spend a little more money and to take that advice than to bet the business on your own stubbornness and obstinacy.